So XDefiant is out now, and is it actually a good game? Well, it is basically just another first-person shooter like any other one out there. The main benefit to it is the fact it's free, so with that in mind, by all means get out there, give this game a go and enjoy it. But if you do already own something like Call of Duty, then this game would be a waste of time because it's not bringing nothing new to the table. But after playing a few hours of this game, I can say that I actually did really enjoy it, and it's something I'm going to keep playing for a while. It doesn't bring anything new to the table when it comes to it, but it is a completely free to play game. And I personally haven't played the newest Call of Duty game because I'm not willing to spend out that kind of money on a game. And that is exactly why I haven't reviewed Call of Duty. So what you're currently seeing on the screen is my first playthrough. I was level 1, it was my first game, and this is the game that I had. You are going to be watching a 100% game from start to finish. You're going to see exactly how rubbish I can be at first person shooter games and the little lucky parts that come out really good. But the more important thing is you're going to see how I just jump off a ledge and ended myself, because, you know. And I promise you it does get better, though apparently that other dude up there did also do the exact same thing and jumped off a ledge as well, so I don't feel as bad. I thoroughly enjoyed the playthrough. I wasn't perfect, I wasn't great, I did die quite a few times. I'll show you the stats towards the end of the video, you'll see how terrible I did. And there is a reason why I'm not in esports, because I'm just not good enough for that. But overall I did really enjoy the game and it was really fun for me. And it is definitely a game I'm going to continue playing as well. The game is very fast paced, so if you don't like fast paced shooters, you want to go to something a bit slower than this. Overall, using the sniper rifle in the game I felt completely pointless because it was very hard to actually aim up on anyone because of how fast people moved. And you will see this later in this playthrough. Shotgun was also equally just as useless because it was very underpowered. The LMG was really good, the SMG was really good, and the assault rifle was my weapon of choice because it's just one of the best weapons in the game. But you will see the assault rifle being used and the sniper rifle being used in this playthrough on this video. One of the big downfalls is the fact there's no skill-based matchmaking. What this means is you can be stuck up against the best players in the game and find that you're on a losing streak constantly, which is just not fun to be in. If you're not great at FPS games, then that might be very frustrating for you in this game. However, it still is fun, and I found that even when I was losing, I still had fun and enjoyed it. Unfortunately, this can become the norm when it comes to matchmaking, especially when there's no skill-based matchmaking and it's more of a first come first serve style matchmaking. Okay, so you will get into a game faster, but that can end up sucking balls as the fact that you'll essentially get put into a game against people that are much more highly skilled than you and just keep losing. What I can say is matchmaking was actually very rapid. I was in the game very quickly and starting off very quick without any issues, so that was a bonus to it. So aside from that, this is a 6v6 or 4v4 team-based arena shooter. It has hero characters from the Ubisoft franchises thrown in for some reason, and it's basically like Call of Duty / Overwatch, but just not as good or smooth. There are 24 guns in the game, most of them are locked from the start as you'd expect, because this is what every single game does these days, and the game is basically Call of Duty, so as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's kind of not really much to talk about. It is still a fun game, but nothing really new to the genre. Going over to the Overwatch style of things, there are powers that you can use to get the advantage in the game from grenades or shields and things like that. These powers or abilities are faction based. So first of all we have Libertad, which is from Far Cry 6. They have Espiritu de Libertad, which is a passive ability that slowly heals you and nearby allies. Via Vida Boost, which releases a fortifying wave of boosts that essentially boost your health and regen for you and nearby allies. El Remedio, I am terrible with Spanish, This launches a gas canister that heals friendlies until it's destroyed or cancelled. And Medico Supremo, which is a medical backpack that provides large health and healing boosts for a limited time. Next up we have the Phantoms from Ghost Recon Phantoms. They have Hardened, which is passive, which is a health increase. Blitz Shield, which is an ability that allows you to equip a tactical shield and you press the melee button for a shield bash. Mag Barrier, which is an electromagnetic barrier that blocks incoming fire. And Aegis, which is a spherical plasma shield combined with an electro scattergun for close quarters combat, which you will see in this video where I managed to jump in and kill someone that was using that ability. Next up is Echelon from Splinter Cell. They have Low Profile, which is a passive thing where agents do not appear on enemy minimaps. A digital ghillie suit that renders the agent invisible, but when you move and aim it reduces that effect. Intel suit, which shares the location of nearby enemies. and sonar goggles, which reveals enemies and you can hunt them down with a 3rd echelon 5.7 pistol. This makes the enemies glow red through walls so you can see them. Then we have the cleaners, which are from the Division. They have incendiary rounds which inflict burning damage on enemies, but it does decrease your weapon's range. They have the firebomb ability that detonates a Molotov cocktail, causing explosive damage and ignites the area on fire, which is bad. The incinerator drone, which is a napalm delivering drone that burns everything in its path. And the purifier, which is a flamethrower, which needs no, I don't have to tell you what that is, it does what it does. Then we have DedSec from Watch Dogs 2. They have the fabricator, which basically means that when you deploy a device, it just creates a new one for you. You have the spider bot, which deploys and allows you to target and stun nearby enemies using a face hug. Hijack, which allows you to hack enemy deployed abilities and make them your own. And Lockout, which disables the enemy's HUD, minimap and abilities in the affected area. When you start a game, you do not play as a faction specifically, you decide what character you want to play as and you play as that character from whatever faction you want to go from. This does mean that when you're on a team, you can be several different factions as one team, which makes it very interesting and allows you to mix and match the abilities that you prefer to use for your own team. And it does make for some interesting gameplay when you can get people come near you and put down a shield in front of you to help protect you and the team, while you then playing as Echelon go invisible and run through and sneak up on the enemies without them even realising you're doing it because they're too busy firing at a shield. Echelon is the most overpowered because, imagine activating an ability that allows you to see all your opponents glowing red through walls. Well, that's the life of an Echelon player in XDefiant. They basically have an overpowered wall hack ability, or as they like to call it, sonar. It's fun for a while, but it quickly makes the game too easy, and you can absolutely guarantee that there will be players that rely on this power, so it sucks. It kind of reminds me of Perfect Dark's railgun that allowed you to shoot through the entire level, and it just, it was fun, but it absolutely sucked, especially if you're on the other side of it. Like I said before, gameplay is fast paced and it kind of gets right into it straight away. You respawn very, very fast as well, which means you're not waiting around, which is a massive bonus. And game modes like this game mode, which is basically domination, but you just have to go to new checkpoints every now and again when it changes, defend it, and then move on to the next one. They can be fun and it can make it interesting, especially as the checkpoint area, it moves quite often. And there is nothing more satisfying than chucking a grenade into an area with loads of enemies and just destroying all of them. That is a bonus. And based on the fact that everyone will be in the capture area, it makes it more often that will actually work out, if you do it right. XDefiant is a perfectly okay game, stuck in the sea of Me Too's. It's fun in short bursts, and if it's your kind of thing then that's completely fine, but it's forgettable in the long run. Like I said before, one of the best parts about the game is the fact it is free, so if you don't want to buy an FPS game, this would be the one for you. This is the one for me because of that. Unfortunately, however fun the game is, it is the same as every other first-person shooter. There's not a lot that makes it stand out or makes it different, and that kind of is what lets them down and has let Ubisoft down in this situation. What we really need from developers is something new and exciting, something that hasn't been tried before. The finals did that, but for me it just wasn't my kind of game mode, but it was still something new and exciting. And unfortunately, all game developers are just chasing that next best battle royale or team versus team game. Instead of creating what players actually want, they focus on what they think players want, and that never works out well. Overall, XDefiant is a really fun game, and it was really good, and it is free. So there's no reason to not get on it and give it a go. It just kind of sucks that Ubisoft didn't use this opportunity to create something new and unique. And that's one of the problems with games these days. There's not enough going into them that kind of keeps you interested for a long period of time. You find that you very quickly lose interest and drop off of them. And it's normally within a couple of weeks, unfortunately. I personally think that I'll be able to play XDefiant probably for a good 6 months before I start getting bored of it. And it obviously depends what Ubisoft does with the IP and whether they bring out new features, new updates, new game modes. But that is fully dependent on that and that alone. I'm not saying this is the best game in the world, I'm not saying it's the worst one. But it is worth playing if you don't want to buy an FPS game. If you don't own any FPS games, this is the ideal one to go on to, but you might find that if you already play games like Call of Duty or Overwatch, that you might just be better off sticking to those games. You might find that this is just not something new enough to give you that interest to start all over again on a new game. As I said, I don't play any of the Call of Duty games at the moment. I'm waiting for the next one to come out. So for someone like me, this is an ideal game to get into because I'm starting from scratch with no problems. But obviously you're going to have your own opinion of it, so get down in the comments below, let me know your opinion and what you think of the game and whether it's something you're going to play. And you might agree with me or you might not, but you know, that's up to you. Opinions are personal to people and we all have the right to our own opinions. So I'll respect yours, you respect mine. Also respect the fact that I'm on the road to 10,000 subscribers and I need you to hit that subscribe button if you like my content and hit the like button so I know that you enjoy it and so that the YouTube algorithm can kind of push my stuff out to more people. That would be very much appreciated, thank you. But if you're not looking for an FPS game to play, then check out like an RTS game like Men of War 2 up there, or go and check out an RPG style top-down fighting game, V-Rising, over there. Thank you for watching my video. I've been Lycan from Green Lycan Reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.